10 random cards rated day 258. Hope your Tuesday's great. I thought about stopping the recording because I didn't nail 258 there. But, you know, we're going to look at Grimoire of the Dead first today. This is from Innistrad originally, and I have completely forgotten what this card does. This is 4 mana for a legendary artifact. Pay 1 tap, discard a card, put a study counter on Grimoire. You can tap it and remove 3 study counters from it and sack it to put all creatures from all graveyards onto the battlefield under your control. They are now black zombies in addition to their other colors and types. This is neat. This is neat. This is in starter commander decks. You can get that for 50 cents right now. I think that's a pretty good deal, all things considered, you know. It's not a bad card. So, you play it on turn 4 in commander. If you don't have any more mana, you have to wait a turn. So it goes off on like turn 8. 4, 5, 6, 7. It goes off on like turn 8 or something. But that's saying that's dry. That's saying you don't have any ramp or any way of maybe untapping it or something, you know, if you wanted to get really nutty. I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. Every card from all the graveyards, but your opponents do have like multiple turns to stop it. It costs you a fair amount of mana while it's in play. It costs mana to play it. 7 total mana to do the thing, but you know, once you get into pay it in installments, it's not that bad. I like this. A guy like me would though. I like books. It's not just that I like reanimating things, which I do. I like when there are books in Magic. I don't know why it's a thing for me, but I don't know. Anybody share that? I generally like when a card is a book. I don't know why. I'm going to give this like a... Man, I'm going to give this like a 5.8. No, I'm not. I'm going to give this like a 5.6. Like we talked about yesterday, nuance. You know what I mean? I'm going to give this a 5.6. I think it is a little bit slow, and like maybe I'm being dumb and it's just not good, but I don't know if you ever pop off with it. It's you're going to win the game. It's a really, really good ability, dude. I like it. But next is Mountain. One of my favorite mountains of all time by Dougie Shoes. Douglas Schuler down here. Dougie Shoes. He illustrates a good land, but I do in fact love this mountain. But next is Lava Axe. What do you give Lava Axe? When was this originally printed? Ooh, I don't know. Like, I literally have no idea. Scourge? I'm wrong. I'm so wrong. Am I? 7th edition. Urza's Legacy? Portal. I should know that. Oh, that's embarrassing. I should have known that. This is 5 mana. For a sorcery that just deals 5 to your opponent. That's all it needs to say. This is kind of an iconic card in a lot of ways when you get right down to it. You know, we use it as shorthand. Like, if you're going to deal 5 to somebody, you say, like, I'm going to Lava Axe you. Which... Or at least boomers do. I don't know how many people actually do that, but a lot of people I've known in my life have done them. Lava Axe you, and the card I'm playing is not Lava Axe. So again, this is iconic amongst boomers at the very least. I like this card, but I can't score it highly. If I'm being like real here, I will say giving it the honorary 5 would be funny, because it costs 5 and deals 5. I'm gonna give it the honorary 5. I'm going to do it. I actually think in some ways Lava Axe deserves it. It has never been a truly like competitively viable card. Not really, but it is a card that is kind of like, put it this way. It's like a Timmy card for red players, right? Like there are some players that the first time back in the day they see Crawl Worm, or just throughout the ages, there are players that the first time they see, you know, a 6 mana, like 7/7 trample in green. They're like, oh, I'm going to play with that guy. This guy's huge, you know? And I think that this is basically the same thing, but for red players, you know? So this I will give the honorary 5 to and feel good about it. Lava Axe, you deserve it. You've been here almost the whole time. Almost the whole time. You will live on in our hearts forever. Next is, it's Golgari Mage. I typically really like these guys. This is 2 Golgari hybrids for a 2/2 Elf Shaman. You can pay 5 mana, 4 and a black, and sack a creature to return a creature from your yard to your hand. Or you can pay 4 and a green to put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. So both abilities are really, really, really expensive on this. And honestly, that means it's probably not as good as some of the other guild mages, you know, Vizkopa Guild Mage, or excuse me, Orzhov Guild Mage. That one's really, really good. That said, I guess this is a sacrifice outlet that gets important creatures back from your yard to your hand if need be. And in like a budget commander deck, that might be fine. So I'm going to give this a 3.75. and kind of keep it pushing. I think this is okay, but you're probably not going to slot it into basically anything. That said, good cube card. All the guild mages are good cube cards. Next is Savannah Lions again. I feel like we've hit this card like 5 times, and I always get the chance to say that I will always love Savannah Lions my entire life. My 70 more years can go by thanks to medical advancements. I can be 150 years old or whatever it's going to end up being, and I will still love Savannah Lions on my deathbed. I call him Hellhound over here, not a cat. It's a dog. This is from Zendikar Rising. It costs a single red mana for a 0/1 elemental dog with landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, it gets +2/+2 till end of turn. Hellhound is still so good, dude. Still so good. Really. We just got Saz's Chocobo in Standard as I record this. If you're watching this 5 years in the future, I'm sorry. Now you know. We just got Saz's Chocobo. And a lot of people freaking out about that card. But I think Akoum Hellhound is the better card. In a lot of ways, man. Oh, you know, my Zaz's Chocobo was a 5/6. Oh, is that right? Well, it must be turn 5. Must be turn 4 or 5 with ramp. And, you know, you're supposed to have won the game before that. Akoum Hellhound, I think, is a little bit better at accomplishing that. This swings for 4 on, like, turn 2 some of the time. Turn 3, it swings for 4 or 6, depending on what you're doing. So, yeah, I think a Hellhound is just a really aggressive creature. I like it. I don't think he's going to see play in like anything beyond cube. You know what I mean? Which is really sad. Because I like, as far as landfall abilities go, I like a good aggressive landfall creature, and he's fantastic. So I will give Hellhound a 4.3. He's good. He's always going to be good. Doomed Traveler, everybody, the OG guy that does this. A single white mana for a 1/1 human soldier. When he dies, you get a 1/1 flyer. So pretty good in Aristocrats decks, a great utility card for decks like that. But at this point, I think we printed a bunch of effectively better Doom Travelers. But I still play this guy from time to time. You know, he was in my LSO core deck for ever. He still is, I believe, forever. He was in the deck that the fans sent over, the Oathbreaker deck that a bunch of Discord fans sent over for a reason. He's just a typical Aristocrats guy. You know, he's never going to be bad in a deck like that. You need fodder. You need sack targets. He's just always going to be great. So, classic guy here. I'm going to give Doom Traveler a 4.6. No, I'm not. I'm going to give Doom Traveler a 4.75. You know? Like, not powerful, not playable in everything, but definitely has niche application, more than niche applications. So, good dude. Good dude. Shield Mage Elder is only ever from Onslaught. This is 6 mana. That's probably why. 6 mana, 5 and a white for a 2/3 Cleric Wizard. Oh, tap 2 untapped clerics you control to prevent all damage target creature would deal this turn. You can also tap 2 untapped wizards you control to prevent all damage a spell would deal this turn. That is really neat. That's kind of neat. You know, I was saying a couple of days ago or yesterday that often when a card is printed in one set, it's because, you know, reserve list or bad. Just really, really bad. And this does cost 6 mana. Like, that is a lot of mana. But in either a Clerics or Wizards deck, this could at least be okay, you know? Keep creatures from dealing combat damage to you. It could also make your opponent not swing into you at all, because you might have a few dudes up to block. And then you could block a guy, tap those Clerics down, and keep the guy they're blocking from dealing damage to them, but they deal damage to it. So it just really, really messes with blocks if you have Clerics out. And it is a Cleric. It's also a Wizard, though, so it can tap for either one of its abilities. And if you have a couple of wizards, you might be happy you can stop those big, like, fireball effects and stuff. Just all together. 6 mana is probably the only, like, thing keeping me off this card. I like it, though. I actually kind of like this a good bit. I'm going to give this a 4.4. Mostly because it's narrow, it's typal, right? And the 2 types that, like, not everyone plays with. So I can't give it, like, too high of a score, but I do... I like it. I'll go down to 4.2, honestly. I think we're more in that range. I know it's not much of a change, but I kind of want to go downward on it. That came out wrong. But I still think that it's fine. I like it. I've never seen this card in my life. I think it's okay. Avatar of Hope I have seen. This is from Prophecy. It is 8 mana, sort of. 6 and 2 white for a 4/9 Avatar with flying. If you have 3 life or less, Avatar of Hope costs 6 less to play. Avatar of Hope may block any number of creatures, so this could cost just 2 mana for your 4/9 flyer. If you're at 3 or less life, that probably should have been 5 or less life, or 6 or less life. Would have been many times better and actually playable, but this was not too playable. Nothing from Prophecy truly was. Not even Rhystic Study, interestingly. It was not a playable standard card at all, in fact. But Avatar of Hope was one that some people have like kind of happy feelings about from back in the day. But honestly, Prophecy was not great. There was just not a whole lot of good stuff in that set. Avatar is not a good card. Jeez, especially in Commander. I mean, you start at 40, you know. There are going to be times where you go from 10 to 3 or 15 to 10 to 0 or 15 to 0. Like, you'll never be able to cast this for only a couple of mana. Cool that it can block any number of things, but you know what would have been good to put on this? Lifelink. Lifelink would have been the thing to put on this. But anyway, I'm going to give this kind of a sad 3.1. It's a really not good card. It really is. Next is Rampant Frogantua from Modern Horizons 3 Commander. What are you? A buddy is the answer to that. 3 mana, 2 and a green for a 3/3 frog with trample. It gets +10/+10 for each player who's lost the game. What? When Rampant Frogantua deals combat damage to a player, you may mill that many cards. Put any number of land cards from among them on the field tapped. Wow. So if it tramples over for like 8 because someone's lost the game, then you mill 8 and get like 3 lands. It's pretty good. That's pretty okay theoretically. And obviously, you know, if 2 people have lost the game, suddenly, what is it, a 23 trample? I mean, that could definitely finish the last couple of players, right? This is okay. This is only like 30 cents right now. I think that's not bad. I think that's not bad. Huh. I mean, it's got a pretty decent, like, normal ability even before someone loses the game. A 3 mana 3/3 trample that, like, sometimes gets lands. Goes unblocked, like, you probably get at least 1, if not 2 lands off of it. It's pretty good, right? I like this a good bit. Like, maybe it's outclassed by some of the other things you could be doing, but, geez, if you just hold on. Like, let's say you play this late, and one person's already lost the game. Like, is a 3 mana 13/13 trample good? Probably, you know, so... I don't know. I kind of want to give this like a 6, but it's probably not close to that. I think that most of the time it's just a 3 mana 3/3 trample, and that would be okay in some formats, but Commander, we're probably doing better stuff. So I don't know. I'm talking myself out of it, but I'm still going to give it a 5.7. I really am. I think this is a pretty good frog here, man. You can really tell what cards are made for Commander and which ones aren't. Like, which ones are in, like, Commander sets, you know? Next is Brutaclad, Telcor Engineer here. Let's get one that looks like a normal Magic card. Can we? Yes. There's Broody. This is a 6 mana, 4, a blue, and a red for a 4/4 legendary artifact, Phyrexian Artificer. So an artifact, what makes artifacts? Creature tokens you control have haste. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you get a 2/1 blue Phyrexian Mirror artifact creature token. Then choose a token you control. If you do, each other token you control becomes a copy of that token. You can get this retro frame one for 25 cents right now, and it is a really cool, like, is it artifact commander. Works with tokens, obviously. You can make all your little tokens into a huge token if you have a huge token. This obviously works pretty nicely with, like, Simulacrum Synthesizer and stuff like that, because that makes huge tokens, but there's plenty of ways to do it in Commander right now. Broody has always been like a fun commander. I've actually come across this a couple of times out in the wild, so cool dude. I have to give this a relatively high score. He costs too much mana for the most part, but once he's in play, he starts doing some wild stuff, dude. Like, there's some fun brews with this. So this might actually be the best card of the day. I'm going to give Brutaclad a 6.7. A 6.5. I've been backing up everything by 0.2 of a point today. I'll give Brutaclad a 6.5, despite the fact that he's expensive and kind of outdated at this point in terms of, like, good commanders. I still think you can do, you know, you can have some fun out there in the world with Brutaclad. Good guy. But anyway, that is our batch for today, everybody. I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Love you. Bye.